Hey everyone, of course, the big news with Boeing lately is yet another incident with one of its planes that had to be grounded when a piece of the plane flew off in mid-flight. So, Boeing's statement on this 737-9 inspections on January 6th is the latest development out of Boeing. So in this video, I'm going to review those latest developments and answer what it could mean for Boeing stock investors.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so here is Boeing's statement saying safety is their top priority and they deeply regret the impact this event has had on their customers and passengers. They agree with the FAA's decision to require immediate inspections of the 737-9 planes and with the same configuration as the affected plane. And a Boeing technical team is supporting the NTSB's investigation into January 5th event. So, interestingly, this isn't the first event from Boeing. Unfortunately, the company has had several events just like this one, and shares of Boeing fell about 8% on Monday on this safety concern. This time it was the detachment of the panel on its 737 MAX flight. Um, this isn't as steep as other drops, and thankfully no one was hurt on this flight in this situation. Still, Boeing stock price did take a hit, and if I show you Boeing stock price in the last 3 years, it's been relatively volatile, but it's ended up about where it started, right? $226 as of this recording, right about where it was a few years ago. So, not much progress from Boeing on that front. The company has been struggling with profitability concerns. The supply chain shortages and inflation has not been good news for Boeing. You can see their operating profit margin was approaching 12% before collapsing in the aftermath of the pandemic, falling all the way to negative 24%. It's bouncing back now, negative 1.97%, although with the investigations underway, we're still not certain how these events are going to impact Boeing for the near term and the longer term. Of course, one of the things I love about Boeing as an investment is the massive backlog that they have. You can see here they have a backlog of about $392 billion in orders. That's going to take the company several years to complete, right? They've got, orders going back. Customers are waiting for 5, 6 years, 10 years in some cases to receive the planes that they order. So with that being said, even with these safety concerns, it's unlikely that customers are going to cancel orders or stop ordering Boeing planes. Because if they cancel their order, they could lose their place in line and they have to go to the back of the line if they want to order again. So, if anything, only those that are already at the back of the line might cancel and try to renegotiate better terms now that Boeing is under pressure. But those that are set to receive their planes in the next couple of years, they're unlikely to cancel given the high demand for these products, given the difficulty to receive these planes. So, for Boeing stock investors, that's the good news. However, if the outcome of these investigations are worse than expected, then it could lead to a cancellation of some of these orders for the 737 MAX plane. Now, this isn't the only type of plane that Boeing produces, and this is likely to only be the one that will be affected in orders, in backlogs. And so that's something that I'll be keeping an eye out for, and I'll be looking at going forward. The result of these investigations is going to be critical. Now, the stock price declines has Boeing stock trading at a forward price to earnings of 27.9. That's lower than this stock has traded for going back all year long. This stock rarely fell below a forward PE of 36. The reason Boeing receives that premium valuation is because of this strong backlog and the lack of competition, I should say. It's a duopoly, it's Boeing and Airbus, and that strong market power between them results in good pricing power. And so investors like that. They like the certainty with that strong backlog. They can see in the future what revenue and profitability is likely to be. And so that drives a premium valuation. For several years, Boeing has earned that premium valuation. If you look at the estimates for Boeing for 2024 and 2025, analysts expect the revenue to increase by 18% as Boeing increases production of the planes. As the supply chain shortages have eased, Boeing has been able to increase production, fulfilling more of that backlog in a year. And then in 2025, revenue growth is expected to normalize back down to 11.5%. In terms of earnings per share, investors expect Boeing's earnings per share to turn positive again in 2024 at $3.97, and then more than doubling in 2025 to $8.52. The reason for this strong increase in earnings per share, as I showed you earlier, is the company is still bouncing back from that dramatic decrease in profitability, so it's got room to expand to return to pre-pandemic levels of profitability for Boeing. Now, if you were to ask me if this is a buying opportunity for long-term investors, or if long-term investors should sell Boeing stock, if this is a time to cut your ties and be done with Boeing, I would say neither of those two. I would say this is a wait and see moment. Let's see what the developments are of this news. Let's see if there's any announcements from Boeing's customers saying they're going to cancel orders. If you start to see that in any large degree, that could be a sign it's time to sell. And then on the opposite end, if you don't see any of that, if you don't see any cancellations, if you see that it's mostly business as usual and the company's going to incur some costs to fix and upgrade some of these issues, it might start to look like a buying opportunity. But I would say it's too early to tell whether it's a buying opportunity. It's definitely too early to tell whether it's, I don't see any suggestion that it's a time to sell and get rid of Boeing because the valuation is reasonable now and the company's earnings expectations are solid for the next few years. So that part of the business has been recovering. It's growing nicely. And of course, this backlog and the market position, the lack of significant competition is all attractive for Boeing stock investors. So if anything, I would be leaning towards watching this news to observe if it's a buying opportunity instead of watching this news to observe if it's a selling opportunity. So it's closer to a buying opportunity than a selling opportunity, in my opinion. And of course, I will be updating you on this development as it moves forward, as there's more to report. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.